So I'm walking in the wind. I probably look a bit bad here. Yeah, I have another thought that I wanted to share. Me and a colleague just had a deep discussion. Often what happens when we are having lunch here at work ends up being these deep philosophical discussions. But philosophy as in the sense that just developing a thought, developing an argument. And today we had the thought that to some degree there's a lot of the things that we are working on in our lives are actually philosophical in nature, and we don't always recognize that. Things like history is actually a type of philosophy. Now, some people might disagree, but faith, religion is a type of philosophy. But then also economy is a philosophy, and the way we define it, because it's often these hypotheses that we base. And hypothesis at the core of a philosophy. So, and politics is a type of philosophy. And that's just the one part I want to say. And what it means is that sometimes I think we need more tools from the area of philosophy. Like when you do a PhD, PH means philosophy. I think philosophia or something like that, which is the Latin word, and the D stands for doctorea, which means you are somebody that have the ability to excel in philosophy and then to teach. That doctor means teaching. If I'm right, I might be slightly wrong. So it means that we need more skills in that area to really think and debate and reason. And then if we look at, especially today, I will put another post about AI. There was a guy yesterday that did a brilliant post on linking thoughts of Plato to AI, and saying that we need these philosophical abilities today. But out of our whole discussion, and this is actually really what I want to say, out of our discussion, the thought emerged that what we started discussing about war, and I mean we're working in the defense sector, and we're talking about Ukraine and what will come out of Ukraine. And I suddenly had this realization that there is something very bad coming out of the Ukraine war. Let's say it stops today. Then there's something very bad that came out of it. And the bad that comes out of the Ukraine war is that the ease with which somebody can start a war, the ease with which you can develop weaponry. If we think about it, the Ukrainians, and later the Russians as well, but I'm going to focus on the Ukrainians especially due to their lack of resources. They showed that with very little resources and with great innovation, they managed to, if you look at the media, which is not that obvious today, it seems like they're pushing the Russians back. They have robotic armies going forward today. And then that brings you to the other enabling factor that we see today was AI. Now, AI in terms of machine learning, sure, but also AI in terms of code generation and making the machine learning, machine vision, selection, decision-making processes, making that available to, I almost want to say the common man, but to the technical person. A couple of years back, there was, I think it was around 2008, there was a study, I think at the University of Edinburgh, that said that engineers are the most likely people to become terrorists. Now, that sounds pretty strange, but what it means is that engineers have the skills and the ability. We question protocol, we question society, but we have the ability to do technical things, to do something, to address our dissatisfaction. And now what we're seeing is that the technical person, the person that can understand complexity, suddenly to go into an armed conflict or to take armament action is within their means, in the combination of low-cost weapon systems, low-cost autonomous weapon systems, low-cost autonomous weapon systems supported by AI. What am I saying? What is the implication of what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm sharing a scare factor, sharing a thought of actually, wow, I didn't realize this. And it seems like we think Ukraine was just a war. But was Ukraine then perhaps a war that opened the door, knocked open the door for other wars to go? There are currently other wars being fought or conflicts that is making use of the exact same type of technology that you observe in Ukraine, Myanmar, Lebanon, Iraq, Iran is doing that, Pakistan to some degree, I guess, Syria, did I say Sudan, Niger, Uganda, in some areas of Uganda, but recently, I think it was yesterday, Nigeria, in the north of Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. There's these type of things that you observe. And suddenly the door opened. So if the possibility of a major conflict breaking out was, let's say 1%, I'm guessing numbers here, then it could be that at this point after the Ukrainian war, that possibility or the ability of somebody to cause it has pushed up, that it's now at what, 30%? Suddenly becomes real. It's going to happen because it's like you're giving bombs to children. And what do we do with this? How do we handle this? I don't know. I literally don't know how to think about this and what to do with this. But you're welcome to react, respond, share your thoughts, and let's think deep and think out loud of how to handle a situation like this. And I think that it asks for a time of people to think, to take collective where we are, go and dig and find tools to think about what we're observing in the world around us.